Mammoth Cave has had the benefit of using volunteers for cleanup duty for years. But with miles and miles of aging walkways and electrical conduit, it's taken back-breaking labor to bring it all to the surface. We caught up with some of these volunteers to get the dirt on this mammoth-sized problem. In darkness, the beauty of Mammoth Cave waits to be revealed to the curious. The short-term visitors here have made a lasting impact on this timeless wonder, and volunteers from the National Speleological Society are trying to restore part of the cave to health. Old wooden walkways are being torn out and brought to the surface, where the creosote and other chemicals on the wood will no longer destroy the delicate eco-balance. Volunteers have been the backbone of the cleanup work here at Mammoth Cave. What draws so many to this difficult and dirty task?
There's an old walkway down in the Echo River, the base level stream of the cave. Probably some version of the walkway has been in there for over 100 years. The particular one we're dealing with is probably 60, 70 years old. And that tour has been discontinued down in that area. And the walkway that we're dealing with, that structure was built out of wood that was treated with creosote. And we really don't have anything to quantify exactly what the creosote is doing to the ecosystem down in that part of the cave. But it becomes very obvious to us when we start dealing with it. There are problems. Just cutting it up, the smell that comes off of it. When we pull some of the boards out that have been down in the mud for a while, you can get tar balls from the sand. You can, some of them, if you pull them out, you literally get something that looks like crude oil bubbling up. So very obvious environmental impacts to that system down there. We need to get that structure out of the base level stream. We've got probably this camp 45 volunteers from the National Speleological Society. They come in 4 times a year, 3 weekends, and what we're doing right now is the week-long camp. And this is just amazing to think that these people are on vacation and coming down to do this, because Norm Rogers, who's the camp manager, I don't see how he talks these folks into it. People that have been coming back now for 12 years, and they know when they come here, they're just going to work harder than they will for the rest of the year probably.
This project is just a great event for volunteers. There's wonderful people here. They're doing a wonderful work. These people come into the cave every day, working hour after hour after hour, carrying load after load after load of this heavy, water-soaked, muddy timber, mile after mile. It's an incredible project.
Put the other right here.
You talk to people and, we took apart 107 feet of boardwalk today or something like that. And taking the boardwalk apart is probably the easiest thing to do, but we have to be extremely careful with it. We've had people that work on this project and design some very unique tools that we can use. We're limited to the power down there. We don't have a lot of, we can't use gas-operated engines or anything like that. We bring it back to a staging area, and then from there once we get a section done that we know, we've got to get some of this material out of the cave, and then we start staging it back here to what we call chop 2, and we cut it down and bag it from there. And that's where the real power of these folks come in. With 50 volunteers, 900 bags, you can move that very quickly. And in this particular stretch of cave, we have to deal with the Mammoth Cave Tower. And if you get 45 volunteers, add a few here from the park, we can have as many as 55, 60 people maybe, and we can literally bucket brigade it all the way up the tower.
I would almost describe it like a boot camp. We refer to it that way. It's getting up early, breakfast by 7, here at the cave by 8:30, working from 8:30 to noon. The work will vary depending on what we're doing that particular day, but typically it's a lot of hauling. Hauling boards, bags of wood, probably anywhere from maybe 10 to probably 50 pounds. We keep track in our head of how many times we do this. probably typically 6-7 trips in the morning, have a lunch, and get back at it again till 4 o'clock.
What I think is really impressive about a group like this is people come from all over the United States. They've come from Europe, they've come from Canada in the past. And what's really neat about it, you get 50 people together, and they're all walks of life, from professionals, doctors, educators, to the unemployed. And they work together here as a group. Everybody pitches in. If there's something needs to be done, somebody picks up the slack. Somebody steps in. Somebody goes to bat. It's great just being on the team.
We're sore. Hearing the stories of how my knee hurts, and yes, those type of things. But I think people are very excited. They're very into what we're doing, and they're as excited and astonished and amazed by the accomplishments of everyone. We just amaze ourselves.
We love caves. I love caves. Mammoth Cave, it's the longest cave, so it's the greatest cave for me. It's a wonderful place to be. When we come into the cave, our spirits just soar. You become alive in here, and the camaraderie, the spirit that's here is just wonderful.
I think we have a moral obligation to give back to the earth something of what we take in, and that's what we should do.